Hurricane Sandy is speeding up. How a local agency is stepping in.
Plus, we have an update on the couple that woke up with a hate message on their front step. Those stories are next. Your news starts now.
The Panhandle's most accurate, trusted, and balanced newscast. With Lisa Schmidt. And the area's most accurate weather forecast with Storm Surge 7 meteorologist Shelley Seitz. This is Pronews 7 at 5.
Good Monday evening, and thank you for joining us. Hurricane Sandy is now expected to blow ashore in New Jersey or Delaware by this evening, hours sooner than previously expected, threatening Wall Street, New York's subway system. The threat of that storm has many agencies sending relief. And ProNews 7's Kendall Lee tells us how folks from the Panhandle are hoping to help out. Kendall?
Lisa, Hurricane Sandy has claimed the lives of at least 67 people, 51 of whom were in Haiti. Heavy waves have caused flooding and damage to businesses and homes across the East Coast. That's why the Texas Panhandle chapter of the American Red Cross has deployed a disaster services human resources volunteer to Port Chester, New York. Nick Rocha flew out Saturday afternoon to beat the storm. He's now camped out at Port Chester High School, where he'll be for at least 3 weeks.
He'll work in the shelter. He'll make sure that the people there are comfortable, that they're safe, that their needs are being met, that they're fed. I understand it's going to be very cold up there, power outages, so whatever they can do to keep these people warm. He'll be taking care of all of that sort of thing. A little bit of counseling thrown in with it.
The American Red Cross is not government funded. It operates solely on donations from the public. And Riddlesberger is asking the community for support as disaster services are very costly. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kendall. Will there be ripples from Sandy in our forecast? Well, let's find out and get a first look at that forecast with Storm Surge 7 meteorologist Shelley Seitz. Good evening, Shelley.
Good evening, Lisa. While conditions on the East Coast are pretty intense, here, not so much. Likely not going to see one little bit of that storm as it continues its progress up to the north a bit. It will come westerly a little, but not close enough to us to actually cause us to have any rain chances, unfortunately. Let's take a look at our out-the-door forecast for tonight. Maybe a few high clouds overhead from time to time, but in general, clear and calm conditions. Even the winds will be light, although they will shift to blow from the northwest in the early morning hours, at which time our low temperature should fall down to around 39 degrees. Keep in mind that's still pretty far above freezing, so it doesn't look like we'll see a frost, at least not a widespread frost across the area tonight. Now, we will talk more details about Hurricane Sandy and, of course, our forecast ahead in just a moment. For now, though, let's get back to the news. Lisa.
All right, thank you, Shelley. For students who dream of a college education yet can't afford it, they have the help of the Amarillo Area Foundation's ACE Scholarship Program. Pronews 7's Lindsay Steiner joins us in the studio to explain. Lindsay?
Lisa, a $5 million fundraising campaign is helping the program that now includes Bivens, Margaret Wills, and San Jacinto elementary schools that feed into the Tascosa cluster. The ACE scholarships are for the graduating class of 2016. This year's freshman students just applied. Now, they must maintain at least an 80 GPA, a 95% attendance record, and have good behavior until graduation. The scholarship guarantees payment for tuition, fees, and books for up to 130 semester hours at Amarillo College or West Texas A&M.
High school students, it's often they don't realize how beneficial it is to them. And so we try to stress that and really help them to understand how important the scholarship is and really just how important a college education is.
The Amarillo Area Foundation says it's a wonderful program to focus on schools where students are considered at risk and help them realize that higher education dream. Lisa, back to you.
Lindsay, thank you. We've gotten a few phone calls about this and wanted to give you a quick update. Forest Hills Elementary School here in Amarillo is conducting a controlled release of its students following an incident with police in a house nearby. As a precaution, Amarillo ISD says parents have been asked to pick up their children instead of walking home in that area. And now to an update on the couple from Clarendon who woke up and found a hate message on their front porch. Pronews 7's Travis Ruiz caught up with the couple 1 month later. Travis?
Lisa, it's a month later, and it looks as though the couple will have a happy ending. That's after leaving their home in Clarendon and moving to Amarillo. From the Washington Post to the Huffington Post, it's a story that got national attention. This gay couple who lived in Clarendon says they woke up earlier this month and found a hate crime on their front porch.
The message says, leave or die facts.
It's really sad that these two men felt unsafe in the community in which one of them had grown up their entire life.
The couple, scared for their lives, made the decision to move.
Been a real roller coaster of emotions, really. Going from just completely upset and not knowing what to do to having this uplifting experience of the entire family and community coming together to help us to move and help us to survive. It's unprecedented. I've never seen it before.
That's when Aldalchis Press, a blog, set up donations to help Jeremy and Joshua move, raising nearly $3,000 from donors across the country.
Yeah, they really restored my faith in the goodness of humans. And I was really touched when I found out that they had raised money for us, that they'd even done that. And asked him, I probably cried for about an hour, like kind of giggle cry, or I don't know what you'd really call it, but it was just really touching to know that people were really concerned and that were really going to help us.
Jeremy and Joshua are now living in Amarillo, where they hope to start a new life and pay it forward.
We're ready to move on and rebuild our lives here. Today on is going to be nothing but good thoughts, happy wishes, and working hard to make sure that I can help out anybody else who might need it.
Jeremy and Joshua told me that they could not be happier to be in Amarillo. They also said they have received a lot of support from people all across this community. Live in the studio, Travis Reese, Pronews 7.
Thank you, Travis. Just ahead, Meredith Keller with your medical breakthroughs, and Jay Ritchie is in with this week's Consumer Confidential Report. But first, we will check in with Shelley.
Lisa, keeping our eyes to the sky, there's not a whole lot to see with those clear skies overhead. Very pleasant conditions, not a whole lot of wind. All good news for the high plains. If only we could get a little rain. And unfortunately, I don't have any of that in our forecast. But you're going to want to stay tuned anyway to find out what those trick-or-treaters are going to need to wear as they head out a little later on this week. And of course, daylight savings time starting soon as well. And we'll cover a few more details about Hurricane Sandy. All right, here's a look outside. Really nice out there. Currently sitting at 69 degrees with a light northwest wind. Your forecast details are next. Stay with us. We'll be right back.